This is the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast. For help with your retirement, schedule a 15-minute phone conversation with the team at ProStatus Financial Advisors today. Just call 866-597-1040 and at thesavvyinvestorradio.com.
We're going to deal with the number one fear that almost everybody says they have as they go into retirement. And that is, of course, you're going to repeat it after me, I don't want to run out of money. And everybody says it, and they've said it for years. Well, here's an interesting study that I wanted to bring in today. It's from J.P. Morgan, and it says, if you have a pension or a pension-like income, you will spend 42% more than if you were just peeling money off the top of a 401k or a savings account. So, Ryan, what does that mean to you? I mean, that in itself, I imagine that doesn't surprise you. But what does surprise me is 42% more if you've got that guaranteed income. Boy, people go in with a whole different attitude, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that we talk about week after week on the radio show, day in and day out with our clients. The number one concern that everybody has coming in, even if they have a pension, is, do I have enough money to retire? Am I going to outlive my income in retire? I mean, my assets in retirement. They want to make sure that they're not going to run out of money. And the one thing that we always stress to people is figuring out how much you're spending on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, because that is the way you approach retirement. The way that you do not approach retirement, in our opinion, is, figuring out, okay, if I have $1 million of my in my 401k and my TSP, my retirement assets, if I just take 4% of that number, statistically speaking, I'll never run out of money. And that's, kind of an old rule. Now I think that the new study shows that it's 2.8%, but everybody's always concerned about when they come to us is, do I have enough money for retirement? And my number one question to everybody is, well, tell me exactly how much you're spending a month right now. So, well, I don't know how much I'm spending a month. Well, that's the number one thing that we need to know to even start your retirement plan, because that's where we're really figuring out how much income do we actually need to produce? And then therefore that tells us how much money do you actually have to have in retirement? Because if you're spending $5,000 a month, let's say, and your Social Security between you and your spouse is about $3,000 a month, that means that we have to create $2,000 a month for income for you in retirement. And then what we will do is we will show you the steps. Here is what happens year 1 in retirement. Here's where your income comes from. Here's year 5, year 10, year 15, year 20, all the way out until you're dead. And, we normally plan people to die at age 95. And if you're not dead by then, I send over one of my employees and they'll kind of nudge you down the stairs. But, you have to have that end point in mind. But it really is sitting down and showing people, here are the various ways that we can create income in retirement. We can use the overall stock market, and here are the pros and cons to that. And here's how much of your nest egg it'll require to use the overall stock market. We can use a dividend paying portfolio. Here are the pros and cons to that. And here's how much of your nest egg we're going to need to use to create that income. And then we can use the annuity option. The annuity is, like buying your own personal pension. You give them a chunk of money. In exchange for that, they're going to pay you a set income stream for the rest of your life. And we'll show you, here are the pros and cons to that. And here's how much of that nest egg that you've saved up it's going to require.
Katherine, when I think about people who are in retirement, I hear two things. Number one, he's got the trucker hat on and it says retired, I'm on a fixed income. And then the other guy says, I'm making more money now than I did while I was working. So there's a huge difference between the two. I got to believe that when you have a meeting with somebody, isn't that the moment where they start to relax and say, oh my gosh, I'm going to make the money that I need in retirement? Is that when the confidence starts to take place, when you're in those kind of meetings?
Absolutely. And like Ryan said, we plan for all of those years of income once you're retired. And for our clients, there's even some that have planned, well, I'm going to need $10,000 in income when I'm retired. And they may work a few more extra years than we originally planned. And we can basically navigate that plan so that way they're still turning on income at that same point, or maybe later, and they're actually getting more income. So they're getting more income they need in retirement. And there's ways for us to reinvest that money to save it for them. So it may be that you think your income need in retirement is $10,000 a month. And then, like you said, said, not wanting to be on that fixed income like the trucker hat guy, but the guy that has more income than they need. Sometimes, we run into it where we've planned for the income and they don't need that much, or they're not taking as many vacations as they thought. So but the beauty of it is having it there when you need it. And that all starts with a plan. And if you don't know where your income is going to come from in retirement, you need to give us a call, 866-597-1040.
We would love to have that opportunity to talk to you about your paycheck in retirement. And the whole idea here, Ryan, is giving people confidence. The people who had the guaranteed income, that pension-like income, were the people that had the confidence. They spent 42% more money. That's really where you want your clients to be, is to say, hey, you can go out there and spend and enjoy your retirement. You don't have to sit around in the easy chair and watch Price is Right all day.
Yeah, and the confidence really comes from knowing here's exactly where my money's coming from. It's going to come in every single, twice a month or every single month or however you arrange it. Just like when you were working, comes directly into your bank account. You're getting paid from Social Security. If you're lucky enough to have a pension that's coming in, or wherever else we're creating that income stream from. But the most important part about it, what we always try to stress to clients, is that we want to make the money as safe and secure as possible, because what we're trying to do is make it so that it's almost as if you're working. If I have my job, I go to work Monday through Friday, I work X amount of hours, here's how much money I'm going to make. Mm-hmm. By taking the proper steps, we're doing the exact same thing. But the most crucial part, what gives people the biggest sense of relief, the biggest sense of confidence in their retirement, is doing it in such a way that the stock market doesn't affect their day-to-day living. When the stock market was crashing earlier this year from January to April, it was almost humorous when clients would call and they would have a question about their taxes, or they'd have a question about an estate plan issue. They'd have a question about something random, and they would joke with me, "Oh, I bet you're probably stressed right now because, a lot of clients are calling you panicked." And, honestly, that didn't happen because we engineer these plans in such a way that if the stock market is up 20%, I have the income that I need. If the stock market is down 20%, I have the income I need. If the stock market drops for 2 or 3 years in a row prior to my retirement, I can still retire the day I wanted to retire, in the time frame I wanted to retire, with that same amount of money, because they know the plans that we put together here make sure that no matter what happens, you're going to have the retirement income you want, and you're going to have that retirement dream you want. And that's why when the stock market does these crazy gyrations, up, when the stock market's up, nobody calls. They never call, right? Because, they're happy because the stock market's up. Conversely, when the stock market's down, we don't get that many calls because they know that Ryan and Katherine and the team there at ProStatus are paying attention. They have set me up in a way so that I don't have to worry about the stock market when it comes to my retirement. And if this is a feeling that you think you deserve to have in retirement, visit us on the web at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. That's thesavvyinvestorradio.com. You can schedule the appointment right there online without ever having to pick up the phone. You can look at your calendar in real time. You can look at our calendar in real time. Set up that time. Takes 10, 15 minutes for us to have that introductory call and put yourself on the right road to retirement.
Advisory services offered through ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, a registered investment advisor. Insurance licensed in Maryland. ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, LLC is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if ProStatus Financial Advisors Group is licensed in your state, please call 410-863-1040. ProStatus Group, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through representatives of ProStatus Financial Advisors Group.